Welcome to the Have Courage Summit. This is a summit dedicated to helping you get out of your own way and to help unleash the potential that sits within you. This evening, I am so grateful to welcome April Yvette onto the show. Hello there, April.
Hi, Gary. Thanks for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Thank you so much for joining me. So, April is quite an inspiration for me, to be honest. Someone that was a single mother and has managed to grow her business up to 9 million sales in real estate. She's now a motivational speaker, sales and marketing strategist, and I can't believe she's here with me tonight to talk about courage, which is amazing.
Oh, thank you. Like I said, so happy to be here and can't wait to talk about this topic. I think we all need this.
Oh, amazing. Well, look, as we get going, would you mind maybe giving the viewers a bit more of a lowdown to who is April? You know, what are you doing for work today and what are you passionate about?
Well, I've been on quite a journey, right? My whole life has been this amazing journey. Learned so much, failed, and tried again and learned more. But what I do now specifically is I work with entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants and speakers, and they have been through something painful, a painful challenge, and went on a journey to find the solution. They ran into a mentor. It drew them closer to God. A lot of times they had a rock bottom moment, but then they finally found the solution, and now they feel this inner nudge. It's like tapping them on the shoulder to get out there and help more people. I call it using your pain to help other people overcome their pain. And that's really who I'm here to serve, to help them with clarifying their message and reach more people, the people they're called to serve, figuring who that is, who is their ideal client. There's a lot of clues that come from our pain that point to that.
Oh, that's really, really powerful. Really powerful. And of course, it resonates with, of course, some of the pain I dealt with, of course, hiding, as I think as men do. I think everybody does, but men in particular hide away, put the mask on. I was bullied. There's a sort of challenge. I had mental health challenge. We don't, as men particularly, talk about it, but I don't think it's just a male problem with April.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that I did that too. I was hiding out. That's part of the wound pattern that we do. Hiding out is part of a wound pattern, holding back, not getting ourselves out there in a bigger way, even though we know that we have something to share with the world, and we're here to make a big impact. That's part of the journey too.
Wonderful. Would you mind going a little bit further into your story, if you don't mind? Because I'd really like the viewers know a bit more about how did you get yourself from where you were at, which was, I guess, quite a challenging place, to this successful sales and marketing strategist. I'd love to hear a bit more about that journey, if you don't mind sharing it.
Sure, I'll give you the Cliff Notes version of my story. But I started out, in a big family, and was always trying to seeking my worthiness through external things. I didn't know that at the time; it was subconscious. And when a young woman's trying to find her worthiness and doesn't feel worthy, she starts to create situations in her life that reflect that. That's exactly what I did. So by age 16 years old, I was in a abusive relationship. I found myself pregnant, and then pretty soon I dropped out of high school and got married, wanting to do the right thing. And that was quite a journey. After 6.5 years, I found the courage to leave. I had 2 little kids at the time. They were 5 and 6 years old. And so I found myself moving from South Georgia in the U.S. to Indianapolis, Indiana in the U.S. And I was starting all over. Like, I didn't have a car. I didn't have any money. I had my children and a couple of few of our belongings. And I was struggling. I got a job with a cosmetic company, and I worked my way up into management, and I loved that work. I loved helping women to look and feel beautiful. But at the end of the day, I was always struggling to pay my bills. So there were some months that I didn't even have enough money left to buy groceries. And one day I just reached the end of my rope. I was done. I was done with the struggle, and I was praying for help and guidance. And it was like this turning point. Something shifted inside of me one day. And imagine, if you're listening to this, sometimes we have to hit rock bottom or be at the end of our rope before we're absolutely ready and willing to do whatever it takes to change. Internally change, and then change what we're doing and who we're being in the world. That's where I was at. And so I remember the moment I was standing in my living room and I was pacing back and forth, and I was angry because I'm like, I can't go through this anymore. And I was pounding my fist and I said, never again. I am going to take 100% responsibility for my life and for my own success. And I don't know how that's going to work out or how to do it, but I'm going to trust and I'm going to change this. And so I stumbled across a book. I bought my first self-help book and read it. I'd never read a whole book before in my entire life. The book was called Live Your Dreams by Les Brown. His story changed my life. It gave me hope. I was in a desperate situation. I didn't see the solution, but he made me believe. His story of overcoming poverty and great odds and rising up to extraordinary success, it gave me hope. It made me believe that if he can do it, maybe I can too. That might be part of your story or your journey. If you're watching this live, the replay of this is that you may be the mentor for somebody else, and maybe you don't know it yet because you're not quite ahead enough on the journey yet to get to that place, but it's on the way. So to make a long story short, I started studying successful people. I studied millionaires. I honed my skills in sales and marketing. I reached out to God. I was praying more, asking for guidance, and I began to implement what I learned. Pretty soon I switched careers. I went from earning $9 an hour and struggling, trying to barely make ends meet and keep food on the table, to switching careers into selling real estate for a new home builder. And I generated $9 million in sales, and I won Salesperson of the Year. It was just unbelievable. So that was the first huge breakthrough. And then it unfolded from there. I had reached this incredible place. I was beyond grateful. They promoted me to marketing manager. So I was in this large national new home builder, this company, a Fortune 300 company at the time. And they asked me to generate leads for the entire sales team with a very new, unique, innovative process that I developed. And it worked. It did very well. But I had this idea in the back of my mind for an invention. I had a product, an idea. So I had to find the courage, hence the whole summit, right, to go after my dream. See, I was in a comfort zone, right? I had a 6-figure income. I was doing well. I was surrounded by, pretty good people, but it would not leave me alone. So I turned in my notice. I developed a lip gloss that curbs appetite. It works through the sense of smell. And I left that corporate job in sales and I started my own business, took a leap of faith, because that's what it is. And after that, I launched it, and it snowballed. I had so many great opportunities. I was on the hit TV show Shark Tank in the United States and in Canada. That TV show aired in Canada called Dragon's Den. And then I was on Fox News, Fox Business Network, NBC Daytime, the Los Angeles Times newspaper, Indianapolis Star newspaper. So I had this great momentum. And it all led up to a moment in my lip gloss business where I was selling lip gloss in retail stores across the United States and in other countries. And I got an offer. I got an offer for a licensing deal. It was estimated to exceed $1 million. And I thought, oh my gosh, my ship has come in. I'm just going to license this product. There's going to be a national TV infomercial. My dream has come true. This is where it gets really deep. This is where my transformation happened. I signed a contract got our attorneys involved, this 30-page contract. And 5 months after I signed it, I was excited. I was getting ready to be on, this product was going to be on TV. They were handling all of it. It was written in there that I would get royalty checks every month. So I stopped selling. I took my foot off the gas pedal. And thinking that, hey, I'm getting royalty checks every month. They're handling it, right? I'm supposed to get a check in September. And what happened was they canceled the whole deal. And it was legal for them to do it. I was in shock. I was numb. I tried to talk them into keep doing it. They just said, no, we just decided to move on. And what happened was it caused me to sink into a deep depression because I made it public. Hey, you're not going to believe this. I used the law of attraction. I was praying, and this incredible thing happened. It's going to be, I'm making this goal, right? What I learned from that is it caused me to turn towards God and deeper my relationship of surrender with God. And it also caused me to have an identity crisis. It was all part of the plan, all part of what I was supposed to go through. I did not know that at the time. But up until that point, I had tied my identity, seeking it through external things. My worthiness was, I was seeking that in winning awards and achieving big goals and get on TV, sometimes even material possessions, things. And when the goal and my plan didn't come through like I thought it should on my time frame, it caused my ego to start to crumble and collapse. And what emerged up out of that was my new identity, the identity that I am whole and I am worthy, with or without things, with or without a business, with or without a successful product, with or without anything, just by being born and who I am. And so that is when I got to a place where I just kind of picked up, kept selling, and was sold out of inventory. I had no lip gloss left. 6 years later, right? And I was at a crossroads, and I was like, God, what's my real purpose? I want to go with your plan for my life instead of my plans. And so I surrendered even deeper, and that's when I went on this search. I took a sabbatical, and I realized that my real calling, what really is my passion, is teaching. It's coaching, it's consulting, specifically on helping people release limiting beliefs and fears, helping them to hone and navigate their journey, the hero's journey, and then also helping them with sales and marketing so that they can amplify and reach and clarify the people that they're called to serve, to use their pain to help other people out of their pain. That's really what I'm here to do. That's when I started my consulting business to do this in 2012, and I've been doing it ever since. So that's my story.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Thank you so much for sharing. The thing that jumps out to me the most, and why I've got my little hairs, are not much you can see, are on end, because I was totally, part of me putting on this summit is because I had a realization less than 2 years ago that I was the one that was striving. I've been brought up on nice car, nice house, nice relationship, focus on the things that the outside world tells you is important. And I'd done nothing for my inside. And then I got to a stage 2 years ago and I just went, I've got all of those things that the world tells me are important, and I feel hollow, absolutely empty.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fascinating. So I'm now on this journey, similar to you, although I'm not sort of religious, I'm totally with you on that journey. That's that source. So I call it energy. I call it source. Whatever it is that's behind us.
Yeah.
I'm now fully in tune with what that is. And I think it's fascinating, because we've been brought up on this model of external materialism is what matters. But of course, as you've just described, and as I'm learning, it's the complete opposite. It's inside out. It's not the outside in.
Oh my gosh, that is so true. I'm so glad that you shared that. There are so many of us out there, people that are listening to this, that right now they're probably having bing, bing, bing moments going off in their head like, oh my gosh, something like that similar happened to me. Even when here's how even when I generated that $9 million in sales and one salesperson a year, I was still in a place of never enough, because there's nothing that outside of you that could fill that hole that was inside of me. I wanted more. I was always striving for more. And when we're going through that, oftentimes it's subconscious. We're not aware of it. It was for me until I finally started doing my inner work and then researching and reading books and going to a counselor, right? And then I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what was going on. Sounds like you've had a similar journey.
Yeah, and do you know something? And I think I love that you've mentioned the hero's journey. So for anyone that's watching us that maybe hasn't seen it, there's a documentary by Joseph Campbell, which you can find online. It's completely free, called Finding Joe, I think it's called. And that will give you an insight to what we're talking about here. And there is something, and I'm going to be bold here as a white man, there is something spiritual about courage. I think it takes courage to, and I'd like your view on this, April. I think it takes courage to stop and to be present and to allow yourself not to be push all of the time. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Courage is needed at every point on our journey, no matter what's happening in our life, in our relationships, in our marriage, in our business, in our personal life, every aspect of it. I agree with you. It's like courage has to be rallied. And I believe the opposite. What is it? So having courage, where does that come from? What's the root of that? For me, in my perspective, I believe the root of having the courage to take the action, to make the change, to embrace something new, or to do something different that we haven't done before, or to be different or think different. The root of that is cultivating faith, cultivating a belief in something greater than ourselves that is working behind the scenes on our behalf to support us. Here's what I had to do. I want you guys to get this. Oh my gosh. I had to rely on a power that was greater than me, knowing that I didn't have to force and push and claw and make things happen. Yes, we have to apply our ability to have personal power and take action, right? But it starts with the courage. It starts with a thought. And then the thought turns into your words, what you're saying, and those words turn into emotions, and those emotions is what sparks your actions, and your actions create habits, and the habits create the results that are showing up in your life. And it takes courage for all of that. Faith, trusting a divine power or divine source. For me, it's God, it's Jesus. But for you, whatever that is for you.
Yeah, but you know what I love, and I really appreciate us having this conversation for people, is that, you know, before 6 months ago, I would not have classed myself as having any sort of element of spirituality because I tied it to religion. And I think what I hope people can see with us now is whatever it means for us, there is something more intelligent than all of us on this planet that will kick us in the butt if we're acting out, or it'll open up the door if we're being kind and we're taking action and we're trying to make a difference. And I really believe that. And I just love the fact we can have this conversation and it is not, you're right, I'm wrong. We're both pointing the same direction, just in slightly different ways. And I love that. I really, really love that.
Yeah, I do too. I so do. I think it's time for all of us just to have the courage to take an action or do something different, and then just go within. Sometimes it starts, the source of that really is our beliefs, identifying what beliefs are serving us and what beliefs are no longer serving us, because that's part of what's driving our thoughts and our behaviors and our ability to have courage in our lives. Start there. And sometimes we can see we have certain beliefs that we know about, we're aware of, certain ones we're not aware of them. But you can certainly reach out to a mentor. Mentors can help, a guide, reading a book. Sometimes you can get help from external sources to help us see what we can't see ourselves when we need that.
I love that. So who are you working with at the moment? Do you work with a whole range of different clients, sort of individuals, corporates? Where do you serve at the moment, April, out of interest?
Yeah. Primarily right now, I work with purpose-driven entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, and speakers. And they are primarily in the realm of relationships, weight loss, wealth, money, or business. And their painful problem is in one of those areas. And that is what they've been on the journey that they've needed to overcome and heal in their life. Not only the external problem, but also the internal problem. Because our clients have three problems. They have a public problem that they're aware of, they have pain around, and they're willing to pay to solve it. They've got a private problem that they're thinking, that they know about, that they feel, but they don't want anyone else to know about this private problem. And then they've got an unknown problem. The unknown problem is the root cause of the external problem that they're not even aware yet. But our job is to help them solve all three problems. And if we can do that, oh my, get ready for the floodgates to open, because there is not many, if any, coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs that can help their clients solve all three problems. That's what we're really here for.
That's lovely. And what's inspiring you the most right now, out of interest? Sort of, I know if we look on a world basis, it looks a bit messy right now, but outside of all of that, what's inspiring you right now in terms of the work you're doing or the people you're interacting with?
What's really inspiring me the most right now is cultivating generosity in my life. I'm reading a book right now that is called Giving It All Away and Gaining It All Back Again. And it's a powerful book by a man by the name of, his last name is Green. I think it's David Green. I should know this. He's the founder of a very successful company, privately owned, that's called Hobby Lobby in the United States. They have over 600 locations. They do multi-millions a year. And in his book, he talks about that we don't own any of it anyway. God really owns it. He owns everything, and we're a steward of it. And over the years, he's worked his way up to giving away 50% of his profits.
Wow.
For his business. And he said, I've tried. You can't outgive God. I've tried. And it brings tears to my eyes thinking about it, because I know on a heart level and a soul level that I am here to not just help people overcome their pain and overcome their painful problem and do it through the vehicle of their business and clarify their messaging, but I'm here to be more generous, to give to causes that I am led to give to, and to do that, amp that up. So that's really what's inspiring me this year.
Oh, that's stunning. Really, really amazing stuff. I have to feed back to you, April. The energy that comes through the screen as you describe this stuff is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Really. If someone's listening to us now and going, I love all this, I sort of see what they're talking about, but who am I to have a purpose bigger than myself? You know, I just do X, Y, Z, or, you know, I don't feel I deserve that. What would you say to those people?
I would say the fact that you're even here on earth is clear that you have a purpose. You have meaning. Your life has meaning. It's no accident that you were born. It's no accident that you went through those painful things that you went through, starting in your childhood into your adult life. It's no accident that you've also had those great triumphs and those victories. And it's because you have a purpose. Every painful thing that you've gone through and every great triumph, from the time of birth until right now, this moment in your life, has been preparing you for a very important assignment. You have a calling. You have meaning. Sometimes we know it. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes it takes listening to a podcast like this, or watching a video, or reading a book for us to go, oh my gosh, I see that I have a purpose now. That's your catalyst. You were guided to it. You're here watching this for a reason. But all of it has led you to make an impact with your life. You're here to help people use your pain to overcome their pain. I don't care what capacity it's in. If you want to do it through the vehicle of a business, if you want to do it through the vehicle of a not-for-profit, if you want to do it through the vehicle of helping people at your work, if you work for a company or for your family or for what you volunteer for, I don't care what it is, but you're here to help people feel how you've always wanted to feel, to overcome the pain that you struggled. You were searching for an answer and you couldn't figure it out, and finally you figured it out, and now you feel compelled to share others this advice or this information that you've now come into understanding. Whether it's relationships, money, wealth, weight, health, any of it. You have meaning. And I know that for sure. We all do.
It's wonderful. Honestly, I could talk to you all day, April. It's actually, I can see why you're doing motivational speaking as well. My whole body is tingling.
Oh.
But the thing is, motivational speaking is one thing, but you have to believe what you're saying. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's, you know, I wouldn't be getting that feeling from you as you talk if you didn't believe it. You know, anybody can stand up and talk. So I just want to say it's really amazing. You really are manifesting what you're talking about.
Oh, thank you so much. You're absolutely right. People always feel what we're feeling. And if you believe what you feel, they will feel that also, and that will cause them to respond to you in a certain way. Yes.
That's amazing. And do you think, just as we start to wrap up, do you think feelings sometimes can get in people's ways? Because does that stop people being courageous? Because that feeling, they read it wrong, or they think actually it's going to make me feel a bit bad, so I'm not going to do it now. When actually maybe they should be saying to themselves, I'm going to go first. It feels a bit difficult, but I'm going to go for it anyway. What's your sort of thoughts around that?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. here's how you can gauge that. I learned this when I was studying the law of attraction. There was a little movie that became a big blockbuster called The Secret. And it's all about the law of attraction. Now, I believe that God created the law of attraction, all the laws of the universe. Okay, that's my belief. And so basically, there are certain emotions that are a low, that hold you back, that limit you, that have a low vibrational frequency. And it's things like fear, anxiety, worry, doubt, anger, resentment, bitterness, shame. Those are the low level feelings or emotions. There are also above the line, there are some high frequency emotions and feelings that we should all be striving to feel moment by moment. Literally, it's like it's a practice. It's like the spiritual practice, moment by moment, of bringing yourself back into alignment with these higher vibration emotions and feelings. And then having an honest moment with yourself. Check in. Is this emotion serving me? Is it true? Is it really true? Am I making this up? Is this serving me? And then you'll know, oh, that is not serving me right now. I need to reflect and renew my mind and feel the highest vibrational emotions. Let me tell you what those are. The highest vibrational emotions that serve us, that are healing for others, that magnetically draw people to us, the people we're called to serve. And our family too, all the people that are meant to be around us, right? Are love, peace, joy, gratitude, and there's another one. I don't know why I went blank. You know how that happens sometimes. There's another one that's like hope. Hope is another one, but the highest are those four. And so at any given moment, if you begin to practice, what feeling am I feeling right now? Because anything that's below the line of that emotion, right, is not serving us. And so that's part of how you practice. It's like it's practiced to have courage, because you look at it and then you consciously shift it to focusing on shifting your emotions. Let me quickly, I know we're short on time, but let me tell you how to do that.
Great.
I want to give you some things that you can implement and do right now to shift your state of being. Your state of being is comprised of your emotions and your thoughts. So at any given moment, your state of being is either magnetically attracting people, opportunities, miracles, money. It's attracting that to you, or it is keeping it neutral, keeping people on the fence and keeping them neutral, or it's rejecting or blocking money, miracles, people, things like that. So let me tell you how to shift your energy. Number one, you monitor your thoughts. So, and it just takes practice. It's like building a muscle. So you're like, what thought am I thinking right now? Or if something's showing up that you don't like, or if you're in resistance, then you can pause and become the observer of your thoughts and go, I notice that I'm in fear of that. I notice that I'm afraid to share that. I notice I'm, whatever, I'm doubt. Oh, I notice I'm doubting again. You just notice it. And then you ask yourself, what would I need to think and what would I need to feel in order to shift this right now? So that could just asking that question will give your mind, it'll start to create solutions and answers for you. And then the other thing is to shift your feelings immediately. You can get up and take a walk. Do 10 jumping jacks in your living room. You can log on to YouTube and you can watch a motivational video for about 30 seconds, or watch your favorite pastor on video if you follow that. Or you can watch anything, or you can phone a friend that's usually typically positive and energizing. And you literally have a 5-minute conversation or a 5-minute video watch, or go read a book, read a couple of chapters, anything. And literally within 5 minutes or less, you can completely shift your emotions back to a higher vibrational state.
Yes, it just all resonates with me so much. Honestly, it just resonates so much, because I think what people hopefully are hearing as well is that some of us have been holding on to things like I did for over 20 years, which is crazy. You don't need to do that, because our life can change. So I'll use an American term, on a dime, literally.
Yes.
We're one thought away from completely shifting the version of ourselves that we want. One thought away.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that's so true.
So yeah, amazing. April, you're an absolute gem. Really. Thank you so much for joining me. How can people
Oh,
reach
thank
out to you?
you.
What's the best way for people to carry on the conversation or to try and follow up with your work?
Yeah, thank you so much. The best way to reach out to me is that there's a couple of ways. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You could connect with me there, connect with me on social media, on Facebook or Twitter or YouTube. My website is aprilyvette.com, YVETTE.com. And then absolutely, I would love to offer you a complimentary coaching session for 45 minutes. If you need some help, if you really know that you've got a message, you're a messenger and you need to get it out there, and you want to help people out of their pain through the vehicle of your business, no pressure on my end at all. I'd love to help you. And you can find out more about that on my website too.
Oh, I'm going to need a lie down after this conversation. So inspirational. April, thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Bye, Gary.
All the best.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Okay,
Cheers.
bye-bye.